Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Coach Andres with coachingwithandres.com. And today, ladies, we're going to talk about a very common situation that I've come across with a lot of my client situations, their stories. And there's an interesting common dynamic, a common situation of where they are in their lives. If it was recently divorced, entrepreneurs, single mom, hardworking, very focused, very driven, very committed to themselves, their goals, their kids, their life, which is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, empowering thing. But between that and other scenarios I've come across with some clients of mine, they ask me, Coach, why am I always attracted to emotionally unavailable men? Emotionally unavailable men. That's today's topic. Why women attract emotionally unavailable men. Unavailable emotional men. Any way you want to say it. Why do you women attract emotionally unavailable men? Have you been in this position? Have you been in this situation? Have you been in this scenario? Or do you attract emotionally unavailable men? If you have, ladies, I want you to write a comment. I want you to write a nice little summary of the situation. I'd love to hear from you, and I'm going to respond to you myself personally about this. Emotionally unavailable men. As much as we can easily point the finger and blame him and blame what he does and doesn't do, we could do that all day, but it doesn't get us anywhere. You don't learn anything from it. It's all about you learning from yourself. Why do you attract that, though? I know why you like it, but why do you attract it? Let's go over some tips. Number one, the most common one. It triggers the tension dance, the dance of tension. It triggers it. What do you think I mean by that? Well, tension can be sometimes fascinating, charismatic, exciting, adventurous, rebellious. Ooh, tension. Up, down, hot, cold. The variety of emotions, the tension dance of just not knowing if he's available, not knowing if he cares, not knowing if he's interested in that way. But physically he is. Physically he's involved. Sexually he is. But emotionally, hasn't really given you the reason yet. Hasn't shown that credibility. Hasn't shown you that respect yet. And why do you attract it? Because the times that he is involved, the time that he is present with you, it's exciting. Hot, hot, cold, cold. High ups, high lows. I get it. What happens, though, is creating this tension in our bodies, which creates anxiety. The tension that we create in our bodies, which creates anxiety. This is called a tension loop. A tension loop, which can become addicting. Hot, oof, cold, up, down, ooh. That roller coaster can become addicting. That high, that endorphin, the ecstasy, the excitement, the tension dance. You're dancing high, you're dancing low. You're dancing hot, you're dancing cold. Man, that's a very exciting dancing, but my goodness, it's exhausting. It's draining. It's not sustainable. It's not healthy, but I get it. That's what he brings to you. It can become addicting. The tension loop, because you're constantly creating the tension within yourself, which creates the anxiety, which creates the cause and the effect in a way. The cause and the effect, the supply and demand to your needs when you want it, but not emotionally available. Sorry, can't do it, not available. And you kind of rationalize this with yourself. You kind of compromise with yourself. It's okay. I'm okay. I'm busy. Got the kids. I'm work, entrepreneur, busy life. I travel. I'm all right. But then you realize you want more. You have to be aware of these things, ladies. The tension dance. The tension dance gets triggered, and it's telling you most of the time it's not worth it. Most of the time. Number two, this one is probably the most understanding and somewhat, I would say not therapeutic, but somewhat reasonable to why women attract emotionally unavailable men. But before I go into that, I would really appreciate your subscription. And again, leave any comments that you have about this topic, because I know I have a lot of women in this situation, and what I'm trying to help them with is to be aware of this, not lie to themselves anymore. Because number two, like I said, it's the most understanding one, especially with a woman with a busy schedule. Why, number two, why women attract emotionally unavailable men? Because it gives them the freedom to feel. Could you imagine the dance that becomes closeness and space? Freedom to move, make your own decisions, be yourself. Wow. In a weird way, that space, that emotional unavailableness has given you, that emotional unavailability has given you the space, the freedom to come in as you please, because he doesn't care emotionally. He's not invested emotionally. He hasn't really taken that high interest emotionally. Physically, all day. Sexually, sure. Fun, yes. Emotionally, see you next week. And it gives the women space, the freedom. Gives them the freedom to feel, the space to initiate, not be overwhelmed. You miss the space, the guard, feeling safe, feeling unsafe, vulnerable. So you constantly keep on trying to get more from this emotional, unavailable man when initially you enjoyed the space. The game that you play within yourself, ladies, the game where you play within yourself, that's what I've noticed a lot of my clients. They say they want something, they get into something, and then they try to change that something. If you want something just casual, keep it casual. If you want something serious, keep it serious, but be honest with yourself. But if you keep on attracting emotionally unavailable men because it gives you the convenience and space, which is nothing wrong with that, for you to be who you are, have your own time for yourself, prioritize other things in your life, which is great. Good for you. Don't set yourself up for disappointment. Don't trigger and sabotage yourself for thinking there's more than that if that's originally what's convenient for you. So as much as we can point the finger to the man about how dare he, you're actually putting this in yourself. You're enabling his own behavior within yourself. It's very interesting. Number three. I find it surprising and humorous, but sometimes sad, but good clarity on a way a lot of my clients have admitted this one. We laugh about it because, again, our discussions, our coaching sessions are always going to be fun, light, optimistic, and direct about what needs to be done. It's not going to be dramatic. It's not going to be intense. It's about bringing a light to the situation, but understand how do we get to the solutions that we want. And I've had a lot of women admit this one. Number three is they think they can turn the man around. They think, they're convinced, their ego, they know they got the goods. I'm going to change him. No. The illusion of changing him. Nope. The accomplishment of the prize of changing him. No. Ladies, men don't change themselves for women. Men need to change themselves for themselves first, and vice versa. Women need to change themselves for themselves first, and not for him. You can't break bad habits with a good person. You need to break bad habits within yourself. So when you feel like you can change him, you try to fill this loop, this void, or whatever you didn't receive as a child to closing that gap on him. Confirming you are good enough. Confirming I do have an ego. Confirming, man, I'm good. Look what I did. Got to change him. I think we've all been there in some form, but that's such a younger, immature, egotistical way of dating or looking at relationships, trying to change someone, make them emotionally available when you knew all along they were unavailable. I like to hope the reasons that they are unavailable is for other personal, bigger reasons, that they're just not in the right place. They just got out of a relationship. They're a father. They're career transitions. They're just not available for those specific elements compared to, yeah, whatever. I just don't care what you want. I'm just not available. I'm an asshole. I'm narcissistic. I'm selfish. I'm needy. I don't care. I'd rather think the more respectful elements of why they're not emotionally available compared to those other ones. But either way, if they are, don't try to change them. Please, don't try to change them. You don't want to win in that game. It's not going to work out in the end. Let the guy change for himself. You change for yourself. If you want to stop attracting emotionally unavailable men, be aware of these 3 tips. Be aware. And if you want to go further on this, we could talk about it as soon as possible. Book a session with me, coachingwithundress.com. I'm always here to help. Thank you very much for watching my video, and I'll see you soon. Take care.